Uh, Presently, I will be speaking about what I understand by Hindutva. Hindutva, there is two audiences. One is the international audience, and one is the national audience. Uh, for international audience, Hindutva is nothing but study of uh, Hindu philosophy, Hindu theology, Hindu spirituality, Hindu sociology, Hindu history for betterment of human mankind. Just as we can say that Judaism was gifted to humanity by Abraham, Christianity was gifted to humanity by Jesus Christ, Islam was gifted to humanity by Prophet Muhammad, uh, capitalism was gifted to humanity by uh, Adam Smith, and communism was gifted to humanity by Karl Marx. Similarly, is gifted to humanity by the Sindhu Sabhyata or Indus Valley Civilization or Hindu Sanskriti. So this is what Hindutva for international audience is nothing but study of uh, various Hindu components for betterment of human mankind. Whereas for the national audience, Hindutva is nothing but study of is nothing but a nationality. Nationality. For example, in India, whoever lives on the other side of Sindh is a Hindu. So Sark, for Sark, that is Akhanda Bharat, everyone is a Hindu. Uh, but like for example, Hindu Bands, Hindu Brahmin, Hindu Christian, Hindu Buddhist, Hindu Jain, Hindu Muslim, Hindu Jat, Hindu, and the only criteria for this is like for example Hindus who are living irrespective of whatever faith they have or caste they have or creed they have, they should keep Hindu names or Indian names. Like for example, it looks like for example if you have seen the in the 60s there was a pan Arabic nationalism led by Nasir, and in that pan Arabic nationalism many leaders were Christians, Arabic Christians, but they had Arabic names, not Latin or Persian Hebrew names. They were Arab Christians, so were having Arabic name. Similarly, Hindus who are living in India, this Akhand Indian subcontinent, should have Hindu names or Indian names or Bharati names. Now it looks funny. Like, why should a person who is an Indian have Latin name? Why should a person who is living who is an Indian have Persian names? Why should a person who is living in India, who is an nationality, ethnicity, should have an Arabic name, a Persian name, or Hebrew name or Latin? He should have Bharati name. So this is one of the criteria was, for example, if you go to Indonesia, you can realize that in Indonesia, uh, the Hindus, the Muslims over there keep Hindu names like Megawati Sukanya Putri. They are. This is how I feel. This is one of the criteria for Hindu. And let's say, for example, Hindutva from the angle of international audience, we have to realize one thing that one very important factor. What is capitalism? Capitalism, centered around market, whereas communism is centered around uh, state, whereas Islam is centered around ulemas run by clerics, whereas Western civilization individual is the deciding factor. But in India, the family within the Jati Prata is the deciding factor, was at least for the deciding factor. If you want to, this is how I see. Now, let's say for example, if you want an exit policy for Jati, You want a policy, Jati Pratha to grow. See, I don't see Jati Pratha as such evil, because just as, for example, individual to our depression needs family. Similarly, family needs a group to avoid depression. So it's a good thing. Only wrong thing comes when you discriminate. You say this group is lower, this group is higher. But when if you have a community sense, you have a sense of community towards any group. There is nothing wrong in it. It helps you. It helps you. So basically, this is what I believe. So in India, in Hindu perspective, in Hindu sociology, family within the caste system is a deciding factor, uh, and it is good thing. Like for example, smallest unit is the family, whereas in the Western concept, individual is the smallest unit, whereas in Hindu culture, smallest family unit is not individual but the family. So this is how. And as far as Dalit is concerned, I personally believe Dalit is not a racial Dalit came into Indian context not because of racial tendency, but more due to the social tendency. As you can see in the case of Sant Dhyaneshwar, where he came from a Brahmin family, but was nearly outcasted because his father disobeyed or the social rules of that time. Same with Jinnah also. His great grandfather was a Hindu. He just went out. I'm not saying you have to imitate it. Just you have to understand the context. I'm not saying that you have to ditto implement it here. No, I'm not saying. And like for Jinnah's great grandfather was a Vaishnava, I think. So he belonged to a community uh, who were Vaishnavas, and he went into the profession of uh, fish, and he was outcasted. So this is how the Dalit came into concept. It's not some Aryan invasion or Dravidian invasion or something like that. It came because there was its social rules which gave birth to it is inhuman, because whenever you discriminate, it's inhuman. But we have to understand it from the correct perspective, not say someone came from outside and ruled over us. That looks shabby. So this is what I believe Dalit is, and I'm not saying like a caste system should stay. What I'm saying is, if you want a exit policy for a caste system, then you should have some entry policy also. You can't have a vagabond policy. Just you have, like for example, one system is there, you want to remove it. Obviously, when you want to remove it, you feel that it's outdated. So if you want to remove it, you have to have some system which is going to replace it. You can't say that, okay, Ram Bharose, I'm removing this system, so automatically new system will be created. Now what you are saying is vagabond policy, because when you are saying caste system, and caste system, as far I feel, it becomes bad because when you politicize it. If you don't politicize it, caste has a very advantage also. For example, if you go to US, there is no caste system. There is religion, agreed, but religion as a group becomes big, so it's very difficult to manage. Caste as a group becomes small, so you are able to manage it. Like for example, morality has come down in India also. The caste system is going. Caste system had its bad disadvantages also, but advantages was it was maintaining a morality, which today, as caste system is evaporating, morality is going down. You can see in the Western world how people are like for example, marriage is not slowly evaporating, so it will create a. So I'm not saying caste system should exist. What I'm saying is, uh, if you want to exit policy for caste system, there should be some entry policy also for some system. You can't give up vagabond policy. So this is very small part of it. So basically, Hindutva this. Now question comes, what about, as I said that Hindu is nothing but everyone living in India is Bharat, is a Hindu. So he should keep Indian names, Megawati, Sukanya Putri, Now, one more example I would give, because you can search in Wikipedia. There was Kalicharan Banerjee. He was the initial. He was the early Christians in India. Now, if you read his quote in Wikipedia, it is there. He says, then we can see that when he was there, RSS was nowhere in the picture. Nowhere in the picture. RSS was born in 1925. He was around 1904 or something like that. So, basically, what he said in that quote, what he said is, in having become Christian, we have not ceased to be Hindus. We are Christians as and we are as nationalists as our brethren. Rest of. So this is what I feel. And one more thing, one more point I want to put. Let, for example, when we say, what about religion? Uh, okay, Muslim is the one who believes in Hadith and who believes in Prophet Muhammad. He need not he, as an Indian nationalist, it is not only the responsibility of non-Muslim and non-Christian Hindus like me or anyone who has a Hindu religion to preserve and safeguard Indian heritage. It is not only our responsibility; it is responsibility of even the Indian Christians and Indian Muslims, or as I say, Hindu Christians or Hindu Muslims, to preserve and safeguard the heritage of India. Like for example, if you go to Persia, the stories of and Shorab and Rustam is a pre-Islamic Iran story, but the Iranians have preserved the stories of Shorab and Rustam till today, though in a very different way. Similar in India, Ramayana and Mahabharata is our historical books. It's just as Indonesians feel pride in preserving the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, though Indonesia is the most populated majority Muslim country in the world, they find it pride in preserving the heritage or the Hindu heritage like Ramayana and Mahabharata. Same as with the Persians, Iran, today it's a Shia Muslim dominated country, they have preserved and safeguarded the stories of Rustam and Shorab. So similarly, Ramayana and Mahabharata is, it's not just the responsibility of people who are following Vedic religion or Puranic religion. Jains have preserved it, Buddhists have preserved it, though in their own style. Similarly, the Christians and Muslims, and even in India, if you see, Muslims, like for example, in Kerala, there is a dance form where the Muslims participate, though where they have made Rama as a sultan or something like that. But that thing happened. But what happened is India could have molded in this way, in a very harmonious way. But for sad part is partition happened and this was not allowed. Did not happen. Like for example, Hindus in Ramayana, Ram Leela also Muslims participate. Now what happened? We have to. What I am into is these are the ethos of India, Ramayana, Mahabharata. It is not the responsibility of just Hindus to those who follow Vedic religion or Puranic religion to preserve it. Jains have preserved it, Buddhists have preserved it, though in their way, in their own way. Muslims also tried preserving, as you can see in the Kerala, the dance folk dance in Kerala, where it's a Muslim dance, folk dance. It's a story of Ramayana, Ram Leela. This is what I feel is whole as such as Hindutva. Uh, so this is what I understand. I did not. My intention of sharing this video is not to offend anyone. Just I want people to give it a to see from this perspective also. Might be our nation can be more harmonious. Thank you very much.